It was a chilly October evening when I found myself at the doors of St. Mary's Hospital. Known for its eerie reputation and whispered tales of ghostly apparitions, I never imagined I'd have to set foot in such a place. But when my grandmother fell seriously ill, I had no choice. As I walked through the dimly lit corridors, the atmosphere felt heavy, almost suffocating. The fluorescent lights flickered intermittently, casting long shadows that seemed to dance along the walls. Each step I took echoed, amplifying the unsettling silence. I finally reached room 13, the room where my grandmother was being kept. The number alone sent a shiver down my spine. I hesitated before pushing the door open, half expecting something sinister on the other side. Inside, my grandmother lay asleep, her face pale but peaceful. I settled into the chair beside her bed. The only sound now was the rhythmic beeping of the heart monitor. Hours passed and fatigue began to weigh on me, just as I was about to drift off. A cold breeze swept through the room, though the windows were firmly shut. I glanced around, heart pounding. The room seemed darker, the shadows deeper. Then I heard it, a faint, distant whisper, like someone calling my name. I stood up, straining to listen. The whisper came again, clearer this time, from the hallway. Leaving my grandmother's side reluctantly, I stepped into the corridor. The whispers grew louder, guiding me down the hall. My footsteps were tentative, each one feeling like a step into the unknown. The hospital seemed deserted, not a nurse or doctor in sight. As I turned a corner, I saw an old wooden door slightly ajar, light spilling out from the cracks. The whispers were now unmistakable, urging me to enter. I pushed the door open, revealing an abandoned operating room. The air was thick with the scent of antiseptic, and surgical tools lay scattered on rusty trays. In the center of the room stood an old operating table, its leather straps worn and frayed. And then I saw her, a ghostly figure in a tattered hospital gown, her eyes hollow and haunting. She reached out to me, her expression one of desperate sadness. "Help me," she whispered, her voice echoing in the empty room. Paralyzed with fear, I couldn't move. She came closer, her presence cold and oppressive. "They hurt me," she said, pointing to the old surgical tools. I realized then that she was a patient who had suffered and died here, her spirit trapped by the pain and anguish of her final moments. Summoning all my courage, I whispered back, "How can I help you?" She looked at me with sorrowful eyes and pointed to a dusty journal lying on a nearby shelf. I picked it up, the pages yellowed and brittle. Inside, it detailed the horrific experiments conducted by a rogue doctor many years ago. The spirits of his victims were still bound to this place, unable to find peace. Determined to set them free, I took the journal to the hospital's administration the next morning, revealing the dark history hidden within its pages. An investigation was launched, and soon after the hospital was shut down, the building left to decay. To this day, I can still feel the cold touch of the ghostly woman, and sometimes I hear her whispers in my dreams, thanking me for helping her find peace. St. Mary's now stands as a silent testament to the horrors that once occurred within its walls. A place where the past still lingers, but the spirits have finally found rest.